Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube video. This is our very first video of 2022 and I'm so excited about it because it is something that I believe we should take more seriously, and I'll tell you why or what inspired this particular video today. So I was on Twitter, I think it was the 1st of January, and I came across a tweet by this guy who had made a decision last year to save a certain amount every day. I think it was 500 or 1,000 shillings per day. And so he opened his box where he had saved all his money, and I was just fascinated, and I looked back and I was like, what did I save in 2021? And I'm grateful that I managed to open up a SACCO account in 2021, which means I was then able to save some. But when it came to just that principle of making sure that you're saving something every day, it doesn't matter whether it's 50 shillings, 100 shillings, 10 shillings, 200, 500, 1,000, whatever it is that you're able to. And the discipline that brings, to you, because once you learn how to save small, then once the big money comes, then you're able to save big as well. So for me, it really took me back to, what are my financial goals for the year? What do I want to do? How do I get there? And besides the SACCO savings and all these other little savings that I try to do, what am I doing on a daily basis? So basically, the first video of this year is simple steps to save more money in 2022. When this guy did that post on Twitter, I started thinking about the places in which, just money goes into that you can actually save. And it's, everything from 100 shillings per day, 200 shillings. And I thought about my situation. And I know that one of the things I do, especially when I'm not working from home, is buying coffee. Coffee is about, 200 shillings, 150, depending on where you buy it. Yet I can actually brew that at home because, Kenya has the best coffee in the world. So we can make that from the house. And if you look at Monday to Friday, that's already 1,000 shillings. Which I could have saved easily. Well, give or take, yes, you do have to buy the coffee, the big packet of coffee that you have to buy, you have to then take home. But the savings that you make on it is actually a lot. And it's those little things, going out, on a Friday that you hadn't planned to go out, spending, 3,000, 4,000, whatever amount of money that you spend on what you like to take. And I was like, there are times I went out, I had not planned to go out. I ended up spending more than I should have spent, whether it is, lunch with friends, which can be extravagant sometimes, drinks with friends, which can be extravagant sometimes. And I'm not saying you shouldn't, because I love to do that. But I just want to challenge us to put a little bit more structure into it, so that it's not every single invitation that you go to. And those who are like me, you're always paying the bills and I enjoy it. But now I'm like, that's the end of it, for now, as I try to instill this new discipline of saving a little bit more. And of course, the fact that it's a New Year resolution makes me a bit nervous, because sometimes with New Year resolutions, you start something and then, 2-3 weeks down the line, the resolutions disappear with a new year. So there's a lot of discipline that will go to it. But the steps that I want us to think of, and I want us to do this together so that at the end of the year we can say, how much did we actually manage to save? Especially, when you look at 2021, it was not a good year for many people. Some people were, managed okay. Many people lost their jobs. Thankfully, some people got jobs that they lost in 2020. Many people started businesses. Many people just started to think outside of, alternative sources of income should, your main job disappear. So 2021, was not that great for everybody. But there's still an opportunity in 2022, right? For instance. So, I'm glad I joined a SACCO last year. That really helped me in, just beginning that savings culture, the personal savings culture. So if you haven't already, you can look at the video that I did last year where I suggested some number of SACCOs which are registered, in the government that's under SASRA. So they're, completely regulated. And, you know, if you're looking to do something, at least the one thing you should do is to try to join a SACCO, because it really helps with saving your money. Okay, so let's start off with how do we begin to save a little? So the first place is to have financial goals, because if you do not have financial goals, then what are you saving for? So you need to know, what am I saving for? And here are some of the things that, you know, from my personal experience and my personal space. One, you know, would you like to pay off your debts? I want to pay off, you know, the debts that I have. Complete payments of investments. I took out some investments last year, the year before. They're a little heavy on my plate because sometimes I spread myself too thin. And I really want to work on making sure that I've paid off those investments. Thankfully, the investments are not loans. But I really need to begin to paying that off so that it can give me the opportunity to begin to put my money into new investments in 2022. I also really have dreamt of building a home for a very long time. I do have some plots somewhere, and I've identified the one that I want to build on. So it is top of the agenda. You know, is it possible to start this year? I was hoping to do it last year, but you know, I was not able to. So I hope this will be the year, and with the savings that I'm hoping to do, that, you know, we can finally get to do that. You know, upgrading furniture and upgrading my house, that's also something that I've really wanted to do for a long time. I've sort of had the same things for a long time, and I just want a new touch. Not the entire house, but, you know, one or two things. Some nice sofas, a nice TV stand, you know, some nice beds, just, you know, a few things here and there. And so I want you to think along the same lines, right? What are some of the things that are your financial goals? What do you want to do? And then when you do that, just say, you know, approximately how much do you think you will need to save in order to get there? So the good thing with a SACCO, if you say, for instance, I want to build a house, let's say a bungalow on a plot that you already have, for how much? Let's say 5-6 million. A foundation would cost you about 700,000. So if you then save about 250, you can be able to access about 3 times that from your SACCO. So that's a good place to start. All right, so let's just now just break it down on, you know, on the one-on-ones on how to do it. One is to pay your debts, especially the high interest ones, because those are taking money away from you. So let's say you have a bank loan, maybe 14%, 16%, depending on where you took it. Make sure you start paying that off. If you have already defaulted, please talk to whoever it is that your creditor is, and, you know, make sure that you organize a payment plan. And it's not easy. Those are difficult conversations to have, but they're necessary conversations, because it gives you a lot of freedom when you're able to pay off, no matter how small, you know, whether it is 2,000 a week, 2,000 a month, whatever it is you're able to pay, just pay it off. Then, you know, you're also able to get your credit score right. And then set a daily savings target. That's the story I started with earlier. How much can you save in a day? What can you cut from your daily spend to ensure that you have saved more? If you have to take a bus or a taxi, is it a distance you can walk? You know, is there an alternative? Can you take a border? Will it be cheaper? How can you, just cut off from your daily savings to make sure that you have a daily savings target? So I've made my daily savings target, and I'm sending that to my SACCO because that's where I want all my savings to be for now. And until today, I've managed to do that every day. So I hope that I'll be able to do more. And so this also means that you might be able to find a new source of income if you're already tight. And, for me, I'm like, okay, some of the things might be a little tight, so I'm looking at other sources of income. What would it be? Would it be merchandise? Maybe more partnerships on my social media, try to get more money from my YouTube channel, perhaps take on some gigs. I love to write. I'm a good writer. Maybe take some writing gigs. And more digital influencer gigs as well. Maybe even, try with crypto or something else online that I'm able to make some money. So that's some of the things that I'm thinking about. And then increase your SACCO savings targets. Let's say you've been saving 2K a month or 3K a month. Are you able to increase it slightly? And I'm sure you can. So look at your SACCO and say, okay, I'm going to increase it by 1,000, or I'm going to increase it by 2,000, whatever it is you're comfortable with. And even if you're not comfortable, you need to push yourself a little. So just make sure that this year you're increasing your SACCO targets a little bit. Now, this is an interesting one, and I actually saw somebody on Twitter talk about it as well. And, you know, he said for every bottle of wine that he buys, he will invest the same amount in buying stocks. So I'm not great with stocks. It's something that I want to learn as well. Hopefully take on that this year. But I thought about it and I'm like, you know, for every bottle of wine that I buy, it doesn't matter how much it is, whether it's 1,500, 3,000, 7,000, whatever amount you're spending on a bottle of wine or a bottle of gin, if you're like me, bottled wine gin, yeah, the same amount, just withdraw it and send it to your SACCO account or, you know, your savings account. So that's another way that you can very easily, you know, begin to put cash away. If you're a beer person, whatever it is you're putting in, whether a beer is 200, whatever amount, save each, you know, the same amount. Another one is join a chama. And, you know, the chamas are different, and you just need to be in a circle or a community of people who share the same values as you, who believe in the same things, who have clear financial goals. And I know that there's chamas where people join and they do a chama project. I'm not big with that, and I think it takes a lot of time and teamwork and investment. So I prefer a chama that's either a merry-go-round or a chama like what my sister has, my younger sister. They have a building chama, and they're all sort of involved in some sort of construction. So let's say your time for receiving the money is this month. So everybody puts in their money, but they don't give it to you. So they give it to the officials, and then you say, what do you want? I want cement this month. So they buy you the cement. So you actually don't, you know, catch or hold the money, which is great, because then they, you know, they buy for you. So that's one of the things that I'm also looking at. You know, can I join a building chama? Can I join another, you know, merry-go-round of sorts? And whatever money I'll make from it, I'll just put directly into my my savings account, which is a SACCO. So those are just, you know, 5 tips that I think if we take them up, by the end of the year, we'll all be sitting right here again and saying, look, I saved X amount, I'm able to do this with it. I saved X amount. And it's also just a discipline, because once you instill that discipline of savings, then it takes you a lot more further. You know, for the first time in years, because when I was in employment, I was in the SACCO in the organization that I was in. And after I left, then, you know, in entrepreneurship, I didn't bother to join a SACCO. And last year when I joined the Nation SACCO, I think it was the best personal finance investment that I've done in a very long time. I saved up, you know, quite a bit, but not to my target, because I had not set, 1, my financial goals, and then 2, I did not say every month I want to save at least X. And now bringing it to every day takes it a little bit even further. So I want to challenge us all, especially on the daily savings. Let us start today. It's you know, a few days into the new year. If you can take it back and start saving, count from day 1 to, let's say, day 12 or day 13, and put in, you know, what you should have saved once you have decided on how much. So that's how we wind it up. I want to wish you all a happy new year. I can't wait to get it back to the beginning of the end of this year, and we will all sit down and celebrate our personal finance journey, because there's so much that we can do with what we have to take ourselves to the next level. So please share the video. If you haven't already subscribed, please do, and click the notification button so that next time I post another video, you don't miss out. Asanteni sana, and God bless.